God, I just ask that you are very much present at the centre of this video, and that it may be all about you and not about me. Lord, I ask that that your spirit may move in people to gently convict them if need be, but to do so in a loving way and not condemn them. Lord, I pray that whatever I say may be said appropriately and in a loving manner as well, and that you just move your spirit through anybody that's watching this video now, be that male or female. And yeah, Lord, I pray all this in your name. Amen. Hey guys, it's a little bit late, so that's why the lighting is so poor, but I feel like God really wants me to film this video, and I feel like if I don't film it now, then I probably won't either, one, have the thoughts in my head, and two, I feel like I'll just forget to film it. So I just want to film it because God's telling me to film it, and I want to film it now. I don't want to delay on what God's telling me to do. So apologies for the lighting, but you're not here for the lighting and the great media setup. You're hopefully here for what I'm about to share. So if you have been following my channel for a while, or my other channel, or if you follow me on Instagram and have come across this video from Instagram, then you will know that I'm a swimmer, and I have absolutely loved my journey through swimming, and I hopefully, God willing, that it will continue, and I'm really looking forward to being able to race for God. It's something that I've not yet been able to do because of COVID, so I'm really looking forward to that. But as a sport, swimming is not the most modest sport, and it's something that I was massively convicted of around about the start of this year. And I really just want to share about why I was convicted of it and what made me convicted of each aspect of the sport, and what I'm doing to combat that, to still serve God and serve others in that. So I'm going to touch on a few different things today. And yeah, hopefully it helps you. Obviously these are my convictions, they're not yours, but obviously do consult the Bible and do consult God if you feel that you are convicted in this. And I'm going to share different ways that I have tried or am trying to be a little bit more modest as a swimmer. So yeah, we're going to be talking about modesty as a swimmer. Obviously this would combat with other sports. I know a lot of sports have different things about modesty. For example, gymnastics with leotards, volleyball with the bikinis. There's loads of different sports that are just not modest, and there are different ways that you can combat them. But this is me speaking specifically about swimming because obviously that's my experience. So I'm not actually going to go into too much detail into why it's biblical to be modest. But please do your own reading into the Bible and what it says. And I'm also going to leave a podcast that I listened to that was really good. And it's like half hour about bikinis specifically and whether or not they're biblical. Obviously personal convictions and everything, but yeah. So the first thing I want to talk about is two pieces. So some people would call these bikinis. In swimming, it's not really a bikini. A bikini is more lingerie style. With a two-piece, it's very touch and go because obviously it's for a sporting reason, but when I think back to when I used to wear two pieces, I felt very exposed. And with everything, I want to encourage you to ask, why am I wearing this? Why am I doing this? And you have to ask yourself, am I doing this to serve God or to serve man? Am I doing this to seek the approval of God, or am I doing this to seek the approval of man? Am I doing this to satisfy God, or am I doing this to satisfy the flesh? And I think with two pieces, for me personally, I definitely fall into the trap of seeking the approval of others rather than God, and I just don't think that it enhances my relationship with God. And I also think that it doesn't honour God in that sense. So that's one thing I would ask that you consider about anything you do or anything you wear or anything you say as well. Is it honouring God? And I think that's just a general rule. But I think also with bikinis and two pieces, obviously two pieces are more swimming, they're more swimming based. I'm not going to pop pictures up because of the next thing that I'm going to touch on. But you have to ask yourself, does this cause other people to stumble? As a brother and sister in Christ, would this cause someone to stumble? And that's not just even females, that could be males too. But am I wearing a really low Speedo to show off my V, like in my abs? Or am I wearing a really high cut two-piece swimsuit to show off my bum, or to seek approval in any way? But you might not even be doing it for that reason, but you might actually, without even realizing it, be causing someone else to stumble by lusting after that. And obviously, if you're causing someone to stumble in the thoughts, then that's just as bad as them stumbling in the actions as well. So I would urge you to be very conscious of, is this going to cause someone to stumble? And yes, you could say, oh, it shouldn't cause someone to stumble, but we live in a fallen world. We live in a world which very much dramatically sexualizes what we wear and what we do. And you know, we're all humans and we all have our struggles. My pastor, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, he doesn't drink alcohol because it may cause others to stumble. He doesn't have a problem with alcohol. He's not tempted by alcohol in any way, but he knows that we live in a country where it is common for people to struggle with that, and he just doesn't want to tempt other people. So yeah, be conscious of whether or not you're causing someone to stumble. With that being said, that would mean I just don't think that I would feel comfortable wearing a two-piece again. The last time I wore a two-piece, obviously generally you wear two pieces when you're outside in the sun, because I mean you wouldn't really wear a two-piece indoors in a pool. Yeah, I just think that me personally, moving forward as a Christian, last time I wore a two-piece I wasn't saved. Moving forward as a Christian, I don't think I would feel comfortable wearing a two-piece. Personal conviction obviously, but I just don't think that it is conducive of, I don't think it's biblical, I don't think it's fair on others, and I don't think it's serving God. So that would be why I wouldn't wear a two-piece personally. In terms of a one-piece, obviously swimsuits themselves aren't modest either, but they are a lot more modest than a two-piece or a bikini. With my swimsuits, I never pull them up my bum. If you are watching this and you're a swimmer, then you know how revealing some people wear swimsuits. And some of my teammates in the past have been like, oh, look at that girl's bum, or like, oh, look at her, she's nice. And I think that that in itself is because like girls can sometimes have a tendency to pull their swimsuit right up their bum. And do you know what, like each to their own, but I personally want to make sure that I'm as modest as possible for the reasons that I said earlier. It's not serving God, is it serving others? And is it like, why am I doing it? Why would I be pulling my swimsuit up my bum? And in my eyes, if I was married, would my husband be happy me being so revealing? I feel like this is a very controversial video, I'm not gonna lie. So please be nice in the comments. And the last thing I want to talk about is towel changing. Now this is a really tricky topic, and I feel like it's something that as swimmers we're just used to, and I think that it is really difficult to know the boundary between that. I think that moving forward I will just get changed in a changing room where possible. At the moment, due to COVID, especially at the uni, we have to towel change. We're not allowed in the change rooms at all, just because of COVID and cleaning procedures, which in itself leads to me having to towel change, which again, to anybody who doesn't know, is basically you get changed on poolside and you wrap your towel around you and you put your underwear like over and under. Like, it's a skill which swimmers learn, which in itself, like, why? It's such a weird thing to learn, but I think that it's something that massively, I think, can lead to a lot of people stumbling. I think in the past there has been times where I have stood on a poolside and chatted away to males, even my coach, my male teammates, and been stood with a towel wrapped around me and a bra over the top, and I just don't want to do that again. I think at the moment, because of COVID, we have to towel change. So I always make sure that I'm wearing a sports bra. Again, it's not ideal, but it's not the same as wearing a bra. Because it's a sports bra and it's slightly more covered up, it also is not as revealing in some ways. but moving forward after COVID, I definitely don't think that I will go back to towel changing as much. The only struggle that I will have with that is with open water and then not being any changing rooms. With open water you very much have to towel change, and I think that's something that I'm going to have to find a way around, and God will definitely guide me with that, and I would really appreciate any advice or any tips that you would have on that, any swimmers that might have went through that as well, because standing on side of a lock getting changed is just the same as standing in a pool getting changed, you know. And the very last thing I want to touch on is Instagram. And this is something I was massively convicted about at the start of this year, was the pictures I had on Instagram and the way that I was posing. I had pictures on my Instagram of me in a swimsuit posing with my bum sticking out. I had pictures of me in a bikini, of me with like showing off my abs or showing off my body in a sense. And yes, that was before I was saved, but anyone who comes across my Instagram who meets me now will not know necessarily the specific date that I was saved, and does this constitute who I am now as a Christian? Again, I would never pose in a picture, and if you look at my Instagram now and any swimming related videos or pictures, they're all me actually swimming, or they are all not posy in any way. And I think that the way that you pose in a picture can also lead someone to stumble, and it's also who are you trying to satisfy? Like, why am I doing this? Again, like, come back to that question, why am I doing this? Who am I trying to serve? Am I trying to serve God or like man? So yeah, that's just food for thought. I hope that this has come across well. I know it's a really controversial topic, which is kind of why I was surprised that God put it on my heart to talk about it. If you have any experiences or any advice on how to manage towel changing or anything like that, then feel free to leave them in the comments. But yeah, I really just want to encourage you guys to ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing, whether that's what you're wearing or whether that's what you're doing as well. Everything we do should be like, am I wanting to satisfy my flesh or am I wanting to satisfy God? And obviously, I mean, I personally want to satisfy my flesh as little as possible and satisfy God as much as possible. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any prayer requests, leave them in the comments below. Feel free to click the subscribe button if you want to see more faith-related content from me. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. I hope and pray that you have an amazing day. Bye guys.